My name is Lucas Clark, and I am the class of 2019.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Today we're joined by 2019 graduate Lucas Clark. Lucas's Saxon years were full of activities, including played football. He was part of our wrestling program, and he played baseball. He was also on the culinary team and part of our brand new Link Leadership 9th grade mentoring program. Since graduating from South, Lucas put all his knowledge into practice by helping Chef Laura Hofer teach the Native Education class during summer school. He earned his teaching license through years at Chemeketa and Western Oregon, and most recently he was hired as a long-term sub here at South, teaching history courses, which we're in his classroom right now. Lucas, welcome to your time in the spotlight. Tell us, how does it feel to be wrapping up this school year?
It feels pretty good. I definitely wasn't expecting to be at South so soon. This has kind of been a lifelong goal of mine, to come back here and teach, and I thought I'm going to have to go through different high schools and try to build my way into South once there's an opening, but I've known Brownstein for a few years now, and when he asked me to be his long-term sub, I kind of jumped onto it. I got really lucky, and they picked me, and now I have a chance to possibly be here for an extra year next year. So I'm feeling good, I'm feeling excited, and I'm ready to wrap this school year up, to be honest.
I bet. We're 3 days from that. And you did your student teaching here, you were a student here, now you've had full-time employment as a Saxon as well. What is it about South that drew you back, that made you want to be here? What is it, this once a Saxon, always a Saxon is something we like to say a lot. How does that resonate with you?
It resonates pretty well. I mean, that's kind of been our motto, my whole family's motto the whole time that we've kind of been here. My parents met at South. They became a couple at South. My brother went here, cousins all went here. I remember I went to Judson, which was a feeder school to Sprague and South, and I asked my mom, I'm like, hey, I got buddies going to Sprague, can I go there? And she said, no. Yeah, you're gonna make new friends over at South. So I kind of grew up around South my whole life, and coming here in these 4 years, I had a great time, and I really enjoyed it. I was really good at teaching other people and tutoring my friends, and so I didn't know what direction I wanted to go, and this was kind of the most obvious choice for me.
Yeah, leadership has been something that's been true to you. I know when you were a student here, I was a counselor here, and so I knew that about you as well. Talk about those 4 years as a student. What stands out? What do you remember about those 4 years as a student?
I remember just having a lot of fun, just having a lot of good times here at South, just hanging out with my buddies and friends. Playing sports was kind of tough. I grew up playing sports my whole life. And freshman year, I had a lot of injuries. I had arm surgery, got plates in my arm now, and I threw out my shoulder playing baseball, so I had to quit, right? Like going into my sophomore year, I had to quit all my sports. And even now, I can't throw anymore, which was tough. That was one thing in my life I was really looking forward to, was to be a Saxon on the baseball team and have a good time. And then what really brought me in was I was in a dark spot, you know, and didn't know what to do. And Chef Laura Hofer kind of singled me out in a culinary class one day and said, you need to come be a waiter for me for the culinary team. And that kind of spiraled into me joining the culinary team and being there. It just gave me another activity to do. And I think that's really what South is about, is just giving you other things to do that's not necessarily school. And we have a lot of activities and clubs here, and I didn't really even know that when I was in high school. I was mainly sports only, but Chef gave me something to really look forward to. So I am ever so grateful to her. And then there's this other teacher, like Mr. Riley is a big figure of mine that kind of got me to be a teacher, only because he said I'd be a good one day during a project. That's all it took. And so I remember always going to my counselor and being like, hey, I want to be in Riley's history class. You know, I don't want any other teacher. So he was a big impact. Miss Forsyth and Roscoe were big impacts, especially during Link. And I didn't like English, but Roscoe helped a bunch with that. So there was just a lot of teachers that were there and kind of looked forward to having me in class, and I looked forward to being there. So
since coming here, we'll go back to high school too, but I'm curious, becoming a teacher yourself, what is it about each of those people that you move into your style of teaching? What is it that you're copying from them, or you're taking from them what they gave you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm copying a lot of what Mr. Riley does. He is a very much chill, laid back teacher. I'm not heavily on the phones, and I'm not heavy on, you know, if a student needs to go to the bathroom really bad and the bathroom passes out, I'll write them something like, hey, you can go to the bathroom. And so I'm copying a lot of that from him. Honestly, my whole teaching style is basically adopted from him because I had him for 4 years. And I think it's perfect. I think he's one of the best teachers we have at South Salem High School. And so I'm using that a lot. And going to Mrs. Roscoe, she was very good at connecting with her students, and she had a lot of hobbies and a lot of things that she was able to relate with other students, and that's kind of what I sort of strive to do, is to have so many hobbies that I can relate to each student. So
Yeah, and you mentioned Chef too. One of the things that is remarkable about Chef is her ability to see strengths in
Oh, yeah.
everybody that she teaches or she serves. I'm curious, what did she see in you that allowed you to come out of that shell, come out of that dark place? What was it that she identified?
I think it's got to be, one, leadership skills. I mean, people just kind of come around me, I guess, and kind of follow what I do, and that's perfectly fine, and I like to help people out. I also am just a person that kind of gives respect without asking for it in general, and that kind of leads into the leadership skills and leads into why, honestly, a lot of people like to be around me, is because I'm just instantly giving them that respect. And even when I was in that dark place, I mean, me as a person was still there.
Right.
Even though, at home or anywhere else, I wasn't that kind of same person. So I'm pretty sure she saw that and just said, hey, you'd be great for this, and really just gave me something to look forward to. So
Yeah, what a gift in that moment, especially in a moment that sometimes are our hardest
Exactly.
tribulations, our hardest trials, for sure. And now for you to be able to do that for students as
Yep.
well, to be able to look at them and say, hey, I see something in you.
Exactly. That's kind of the main thing I'm hoping for out of this. Being a teacher is not really about teaching the students. I mean, it is, right? They gotta know some things, but it's really helping them grow and become a human being and become a civilized citizen in this society. And that's kind of what I'm striving for, which is why I'm happy I'm teaching freshmen, because I'm getting them at the young stage of high school. They're still basically a middle schooler. They're not there yet.
Right. I was just talking to your classmate, Eric Lungu, who mentioned, like, it's not about the A squared plus B squared equals C squared. It's not that, math equation that we want to sink in. It's how they approach that math equation. It's the lessons about problem solving. It's the lessons about seeing the world for the big picture that it is. And I would imagine in history especially, what a ripe opportunity with all that's going on in this world to be able to present in a way to our students, to allow them to have discussion, to allow them to see diversity in their peers and in the world itself. How do you find yourself, and especially given the climate and the culture that we're in, being able to present those types of lessons?
Definitely. I mean, we're in a lot of hot topics right now, is what we call them here. The social studies staff, they're hot topics, they're interesting things that are happening in real life. It's hard and really nice. Like, it's hard to talk about some hot topics because you can end up being political, and that's really hard for a history teacher. You got to stay neutral, and you can't get involved. You can't influence any of your students. It's also kind of nice because history repeats itself, and a lot of these students are not interested in history. Why do we got to learn about the past? But when you have topics like this that just keep coming up and up again over and over, it's showing them, hey, this happens. History does repeat itself. This is a known fact. And it gets them more interested in the topics, which is really nice. Israel and Palestine is a big one because it's like, guys, this has been happening for 50, 60 years.
An ongoing conflict.
This is something we got to be interested in. We got to learn about the past, how it started, in order to understand where we're at now. It's fun. It's a good time. I love teaching history. I mean, this is kind of the only subject that really drew me in. So I've been having a good time, and I'm hopefully making it more enjoyable for the students.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And after high school, you went to Chemeketa, studied there, and then ended up transferring to Western Oregon. What would your message be to our graduating class this year, who, as they're deciding what school to pursue, what did you take away from your experience and doing that transfer program that was really valuable for you?
Definitely. I mean, one of the biggest things is how much money I saved, okay? I tell everybody I'm coming out of college with a bachelor's degree, only $15,000 in debt. I have buddies that went to OSU that are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Like, going to Chemeketa is a really good option for those that want to save money for their end goal. If you're going to make a lot of money from your career, go experience what a 4-year college is going to be like. But for me, a teacher, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pay these debts off easily.
That earning trajectory is not super high.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, I'm just going to go to Chemeketa. And I still had friends, like really good friends, that lived at OSU and U of O. And I got to go experience the college life when I'm hanging out with them. But I'm also saving a lot more money living at home and being in Chemeketa. And then you have that transfer portal. You go to a 4-year college after that once you get your associate's degree, and you can go experience that then too as well. So I really recommend going to Chemeketa first, especially since they lowered the GPA for the Oregon Promise. And I really push that onto my students every time we talk about it. Like, this is definitely an option if you want to go to college, and I did it, and I turned out great.
And now you're pursuing your master's.
I am. I'm going to Western Governors University. I'm pretty sure it's in Utah. It's pretty far away.
Online?
It's online. Yeah, it's all online. I'm not taking a flight over there each time and coming back. So yeah, it's all online. It's only expected to be about a year. I'm getting my master's degree. I can get it in a year and I can pay it off since I'm working now full time. So I'm very much in the more frugal, trying to get my degrees as cheap as I can.
What's long-term plans for you?
Long-term plans for me, huh? I mean, I'm just kind of going with the flow as of right now, especially with the teaching world. I may move, I may not. Obviously, my goal this whole time is to come back and be here at South.
Yeah.
That's been the end goal, and I'm very excited that I've reached it so soon. I know for a fact that throughout my life, I may be, I'm going to be teaching, and I'm hopefully going to be coaching a sport. Don't know if it's going to be baseball or golf yet. I'm still kind of determining that, but that's my goal, is to be a teacher somewhere in the world and just kind of help the next generation grow up a little bit.
Well, speaking of the next generation, let's jump into our big four questions. And these are brought to us by, as always, the Saxon Success Fund, which is a nonprofit organization. For anyone who's listening who hasn't heard this spiel yet, the Saxon Success Fund is an organization committed to providing Saxon graduates with scholarships as they pursue their lifelong goals. So we've got students who are graduating right now who just received money from the Saxon Success Fund as they go off and pursue whatever their passions are, whatever their goals are, especially education-wise. If anyone wants to get involved or find out more about how to help, they can visit saxonsuccessfund.org. That's saxonsuccessfund.org. So Lucas, question number one. Knowing where you are today, who you are today, we've mentioned a few names, but what or who helped you most get to the point that you're at?
Definitely. My parents have to be number one. They're supporting me through my whole college journey. They let me live at home. They paid for a lot of the college too as well. And there's a lot of times where I thought I'm not going to make it. I mean, college is tough. It's not as easy. You can go out and get a job and actually make money, but I got to go, college, come home, do homework. It's tough. But my parents were very adamant on me getting there and finishing it up. And I'm very thankful they kept pushing me because now we're here. We're not done yet. We still got a little bit to go, but we're getting there. Chef helped me a bunch, mainly giving me those options to come to summer school and help teach native ed and just get in-class experience. That came a long way, especially with my interviews coming into South and all that sort of stuff. That helps. Mr. Riley helps me a lot when it comes to my day-to-day issues. Same with Woodall. Like, they've all kind of taken me in and accepted me as one of their coworkers, which is nice. And then finally, probably Mr. Boyd. He was my clinical teacher. I learned a lot from him. We may have differing teaching styles, but I feel like we both had the same goals in helping out children. And I learned just a bunch. They've all kind of just helped me get to where I am now.
Talk about that native ed summer school program. What is it for those of us who may not know a lot of details? What is it? What does it provide? And what don't we know about our students who come from an indigenous background?
Definitely. So native education is mainly there for those that, they're students that do have an indigenous background, no matter how little percent you have, as long as you are indigenous, you have access to that native education program. And what they do is in summer, it's only a 3-4 week long course kind of deal, but they just learn about native tribes and what their history is like. It's kind of showing them more of their culture. So like with culinary, we talk about like first foods, and we help them make kind of foods that they would have made back in the day. I know I made a bunch of elk chili for the students one time, right? Because that's something that a lot of native tribes would make, and they really enjoyed that. So it's just kind of connecting them to their roots and kind of bringing in their culture and having the students learn a lot more about it, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. What a great opportunity for students, too. Question 2, what's one piece of advice, if you could go back and have a conversation with high school Lucas, what would you tell yourself, that version of yourself?
I got a couple. Get into golf. Okay. Yes. I'm a big golfer now, and I wish I would have started earlier because I would be so much better. But really, I've always kind of been the person that's scared to make mistakes, I'd say. I'm scared of what happens afterwards, that aftermath of that anxiety and overthinking of what happened. And I can't believe I did that, but I'd probably tell my old self to just let them happen. Like, be able to make mistakes because they help you grow in the long term. And without those mistakes that I've made along the road, I wouldn't be here today. I mean, we were talking about this right before the interview. If I didn't take 5 years to graduate college, that's a mistake on my end. But then I wouldn't have been paired with Mr. Boyd, who transferred to South. So I wouldn't have been able to student teach here at South. So it just kind of lines up perfectly. It's okay to make mistakes.
Does that learning, that knowledge come from the life experience? Is there something that gives you that resilience that is ingrained in you and you just tapped into it? Where does that come from?
I've just always been kind of the person that thinks it happened, right? I'm not somebody that likes to dwell on past experiences, even though the first few days I'm going to dwell on it because that's kind of normal.
fair.
But I've just always been a person to kind of let go and move on and not really hold grudges. I mean, there's no point in holding a grudge, in my opinion. We just get over it and move forward. So I'd say that's kind of what's given me that resilience and just keep moving forward. Life's not going to stop for you. Time's not going to stop. So
Similar question, number 3. What's one thing you've learned since graduation that you wish you would have learned or known more about as a high school student?
what's one thing I've learned since being a high school student about the world, huh? Bills suck. Okay. That's not fun.
No.
Especially when they're taking out so much escrow for
Right.
being a teacher. That's not fun.
Summer pay right there.
It's the summer pay. I'm waiting for June. I'm
Yes,
waiting for the
that's
end of June.
pretty nice when it hits.
It is. You know, the world's small. You got to have connections in this world in order to kind of succeed. That's the biggest thing. So everyone knows everybody. Even in a big city like Salem, so many people are just interrelated and connected. And if I wasn't connected to South in the way that I am, and I didn't know all these staff members and faculty, I don't think I would have been able to be where I am today or just be here teaching. So you got to know people. Go out there and communicate with other people, get to know, talk with people. I still wish I would have connected more with a lot of my Western teachers in education because everybody knows them. All the teachers go to Western, they all know them, and they can definitely help me more with getting jobs. I just didn't do that. So I would tell myself, go out there and start talking to people, get connected.
That's a great message. Question 4, if you could transform South Salem High School in one way, especially knowing it from the student perspective and now a teacher's perspective, what would you change about this place?
I'd hire me.
Yes.
All right, that's got to be
Love
number
that
one,
answer.
right? You got to hire me. And I know this isn't really necessarily a South-only issue. It's more of a district level, and I don't really mean to get political here, but definitely lowering class sizes is probably the biggest thing, and I know every teacher's going to say that, but as a student perspective, you don't really notice it. You want to be in classes with your friends, and you have a bigger chance, but as a teacher perspective, I have a class with 25 freshmen, and I'm so lucky I have that class. They are all straight A's. I just don't have enough time as a teacher to really connect with each student when there's 38 or 40 of them in some classes. Just taking out like 10 kids a class really helps the connection and helps the learning. But that's more of a district level policy than anything. If we want to go to just straight South, we should widen up Gilmore Field a little bit. It is a small field, okay? I go there to baseball games, and I'm like, dude, it's only 300. I can get it over there now still, and I'm just seeing all these home runs. It does make it fun, though. It does make it really fun to watch.
Yeah, and that class size thing, the more that I'm in education, this is year 12 for me in public education, and I continue to liken it to, like, we take our teachers, who I consider like the world's best jugglers. And you could have the world record holder juggler that, I actually looked this up once because it resonates so deeply, that they can do 9 flaming torches at once. I forget this guy's name, but he could do 9 flaming torches at once, right? As soon as you gave it to 10, he no longer is an effective juggler. And I think about that with our teachers. We are, especially our really good teachers, we overload their classes because they're the best teachers. They can connect with the most students. And then we fully just minimize their impact and their ability, like you said, to connect. And I continue to see it as our mission, especially at the high school level of 2,300 students. How do we make this school smaller? If class size is a district/state/federal initiative, like really it's got to come from the higher ups funding education in the way that it needs to be funded. And I will get political on that. But really it comes down to then what do we do here? You mentioned activities and getting involved, finding the ways that we at South offer clubs and offer after-school activities, offer before-school activities, offer lunchtime activities. What are we doing to make students feel like they have a place, that they have the opportunity to connect and be seen, their stories heard and affirmed and shared? What is it that we can do as educators better in that way? And I think that speaks to, like, one, it's not going to be in class size at this point. So if that's not the case, what else are we doing? But then we're asking educators to do even more. And that makes that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, I just resonate so deeply with what you said. And
definitely,
it's always been, my dad was a teacher, lifelong teacher. And so just seeing the class sizes continue to grow and being told class size doesn't matter. It's just how much you do this or how much you
Yeah.
connect. And it's like, no. We are taking away, Mr. Riley, Miss Woodall, chefs, your ability to really connect with students on the ways that you felt affirmed in. Because we're
Exactly.
seeing, right? Someone saw a strength in you, Riley, one comment, and it changes your life. Yeah, so I would just continue affirming you, like, how can we give you, Lucas Clark, the ability to do that on a deeper level? It's a lifelong pursuit,
It's
passion
tough.
of mine for sure.
Yeah, and it is hard. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight or not going to happen even within the next few years. At the end of the day, it's just getting more funding to be able to hire more teachers to lower class sizes, right? And we just don't have that right now in the district. But and it also boils down to when you have class sizes that large, you're meeting so many kids and you care about each and every one of them. What a lot of non-teachers don't understand is the term teacher tired when you're done. And it's harder to be a teacher that all the students like because they are coming in, even on classes they don't have, they're not in your class, but they're coming in to talk to you for 20 minutes. And it's like, at the end of the day, you kind of get exhausted from that and you're kind of done. And so I think that's where the burnout comes a lot with teachers. I try to push that burnout aside and still have my hobbies outside of work, like golf,
Golf is a
where
good
I
way to
can
do it.
I can go out there and relax and kind of, reboot my brain a little bit after a long weeks. But I get where a lot of burnout comes with some of the teachers.
Well, that's a great launching point into our rapid fire questions. These ones come from Matt Coxon, Saucetown Properties, 2008 grad. So, Lucas, I'm curious for you, what's your favorite golf course in the area?
The golf course I play the most is probably Salem. I'm a member, my family's members. I'm a part of the men's league. I do all the tournaments, right? So it's just got to be Salem.
It's a good spot. What's your favorite club to hit?
Oh, my favorite club to hit. It used to be my 7-iron, but me and my 7-iron have not been friends recently. Honestly, I have a 52 degree that I can play really nicely, and that's probably my best club right now.
That's the one.
Also a 2-iron. I drive with a 2-iron a lot of the times on some of the holes, so I'm really good, and I'm surprised I'm good with it, but that's up there too.
Sounds like our game is very similar. I don't know, you probably score better than I do, but.
I'm not that good.
A favorite spot to eat when you're in Salem?
Favorite spot to eat when I'm gonna have to sell out one of my spots I've been holding out on.
Yeah?
La Vida Katrina. It's a little bit past downtown. It's like a little hole in the wall spot. It's got a mural on the side
Oh,
too.
yeah. I know exactly what you're
You know
talking
exactly
about.
what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Yeah, I love that place. They have Marionberry margaritas that are to die for, and their food is really good for not that expensive. So that's probably my best spot.
It's a good spot. Favorite class in high school that you feel like you've used professionally now?
Okay, it's got to be social studies, right? I mean,
Yep,
that's
fair.
pretty easily. I probably learned more leadership skills in culinary class, definitely. That helped me become a teacher, but actual teaching skills, I guess, like the content area would be social studies because that's what I teach now.
Any other shout outs you want to give?
Shout out my girlfriend, Amanda. There we go. My cousin, Jackson. Probably my uncles, Keith McGrath, who's Shelby McGrath. That's her husband. She teaches here. My uncle, Jay, cousin Justin, cousin Megan, JC. They have been a big part of my life very recently, especially with me getting more into golf. And so they're kind of keeping me happier, I guess, playing with them all the time. So shout out all those people. They've helped me a lot.
Who should we interview next?
You've done Skinny?
Yes.
Of course you have.
But we need to do an update. I was just telling Lungu this too.
Yeah, definitely Skinny. He's been going through a lot, and he wants to be a teacher coming back.
I love that.
So that's awesome for him. Maybe Josh Rainak. I'm good friends with Josh Rainak and Tanner Volmar, and they're both doing their own thing, and they're both kind of living their life. So maybe check out on them, see if you want to interview them.
Yeah, love that. All right, well, we're coming from you, Tanner and Josh, as well as Skinny. So, Lucas, man, we appreciate you and appreciate all the hard work you've put into this year, making this space, stepping into a class midstream and picking up. So keep it up, and thanks for thanks for being someone that we can spotlight and tell your stories.
Thank you very much. I've been wanting to get on here, so I'm glad I am.
Well, we'll get you on and hype you up as much as we can. So
Appreciate it.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That does it for our interview with Lucas Clark. Lucas, thank you so much for jumping in with us and giving up some of your time, especially as we wrap up the school year. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you as always to Saxon Success Fund and Saucetown Properties for your support of this podcast, for our spotlights, and for especially our students throughout the school year. We appreciate you and appreciate all you're doing for our community. That's it for this one, and we've got two more coming this week. Go Saxons.